Simon Dan. 3 days. I forgot about your tinfoil Tuesday. I should check every Tuesday to see if you bring my name up. My laptop is down, so I'm not gonna use the TV and go into trying to find the post of mine that you were talking about, but I think we both know which post of yours I'm going to talk about. Flat or round? First of all, okay, let's get this straight. I have always thought it was round. I had no reason to think it was flat. But like I said, over the last 5, 6, 7 years, things I've heard has made me pull the horses in. Doubt. It's not about being influenced by stuff online. Paul has seen stuff online. I've spoken to people, intelligent people, but you say, well, they can't have been intelligent, right? They are intelligent. They're definitely intelligent. There is enough doubt. See, this is the thing. I am objective enough to know that there are questions to be asked. But I stop right there. You said that you have done your own study on it with 1,000 people or something, and you dropped a link. I will check it out. I did not know that. I put my hand up. I did not know that. I did not go through every single one of your programs, your posts, your tinfoil hat Tuesdays. I didn't know, so I'll check that out. And I didn't know that you travelled to quite a few places. So, not as many planes. I haven't been on as many planes as you've had hot dinners. I take that back as well. It was an exaggeration, but it's a saying, isn't it? A Brit saying. That's why I said it. Now, what else do we have? The people were probably not intelligent. I will check the link. Absolute. Still has speed. When you say, Paul, you can't say it's absolute, and then in the next sentence say, well, it does have speed, but it's incomprehensible. Dan, that is just being extremely picky. There is obviously going to be a delay between me pressing this button and the light leaving here. There we go, getting there, obviously. But you wouldn't be able to time it. Nobody can time it. Nobody can measure to see how fast it goes because it is absolute. Now this is where common sense comes in. And Dan, at the end, you did say common sense. No, not about common sense, about centuries and centuries of what you think are studies. Now I'm saying there are lots of porky pies. Are you naive enough to believe that Galileo, when was it, in the 1600s, told one of his co-workers to climb up a hilltop 3 kilometers away from a hilltop that he was climbing in the middle of the night with no form of communication, no power, no accurate timekeeping devices, but you believe that it was a thing, that they did it. You believe that Roma checked Io out coming from behind Jupiter, yada yada yada, with no accurate timekeeping devices. Why don't you explain how they did that? Stellar aberration, Bradley, 1728. What a load of rubbish. Have you read it? Can you digest information, right? Then we have, mirrors, people spinning mirrors. What's that? Wheatstone, Arago, spinning mirrors to work out the speed of light. What an insult to people's intelligence, Simon Dan. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. You keep saying centuries and centuries of studies that have been done, and I'm saying it's horseradish, starting from Galileo. Why would Einstein call photons in 1905 knowing that solar eclipses play out the way they do? And this is the one that I am focused on more than the flat earth. The flat earth is something that just came up because when I explain the solar eclipse with absolute light, because it has to be absolute light, Dan, It cannot play out any other way, because when you're here on the sweet spot on planet Earth and you have the moon directly in front of the sun and you can see the sun around the moon, I'm not sure what to call it to think people are somehow inserting an 8-minute and 20-second delay in there. There cannot be. You cannot be seeing the photons being blocked by the moon that have been travelling for 8 minutes and 20 seconds, as well as the light source that radiated those photons 8 minutes and 20 seconds earlier when planet Earth turns by 2.08 degrees. How can they both be lined up? Dan, it doesn't matter what you say. It's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. Only a lack of common sense would believe something like this. You can see it with your own two eyes, or can you not? So, when I say light is absolute, it's quite obvious. When I say it hasn't been timed or measured by anybody, your answer to everything is, oh no, years and years, centuries of studies prove that. No, they don't. It's centuries of lies. The same as they lie about everything else. The same as they lie about the pyramids, the Egyptians building the pyramids. 25,000 of them. There's 2.3 million 2.5-ton stones. If you divide that 2.3 million 2.5-ton stones by 25,000 Egyptians, that's 92 2.5-ton stones each. Again, only a lack of common sense, Dan. Now, we can go back and forth all we want here, right? One thing is going to remain. No, two things are going to remain. You are believing centuries of studies, right? That's your answer to everything. You don't feel that you need to check. You're subjective. You cannot be wrong. You're subjective. Me, I'm objective. I am objective enough that when new information comes along that puts doubt over anything that has been proven, I'm objective enough to stand back a bit and pay attention to both of the different theories. You're not. You're stuck in your ways, and that is it. Is that really the wise move, to be stuck, to not listen to any other theories? Because if one of them does come out and proves you wrong, then what? It's wise to stay open-minded and be objective about these things. If you cannot see that, I'm just checking the time so I don't go over 15. If you cannot see that, looking up at the solar eclipse from planet Earth, and you have the sun directly behind the moon, as well as Mickey Mouse photons that are supposed to be being blocked by the moon. There is supposed to be an 8-minute and 20-second gap in between the sun and the moon. That's how long it takes for the photons to get here, isn't it? 8 minutes and 20 seconds. It's taking the sun 4.6 seconds to radiate its own light the distance of its own diameter. This is a serious lack of common sense. It's a star, Dan. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4.6, give or take. You honestly think that a star takes 4.6 seconds to radiate its own light the distance of its own diameter? Why am I asking if you think? Because your answer is going to be, well, centuries of investigations, centuries of studies. I don't feel I need to check on that. Well, that is the calamity there. So many people don't believe that they need to check up on stuff. And it's not only the speed of light there. The other thing I'll mention, AI. I have been going back and forth with AI for a number of years now. And ChatGPT, had a word this morning Mamma mia, what have they done to ChatGPT? It's like talking, I don't know what it's like talking to, but the difference between when I started doing this and the questions that I've been asking, they've put up loads of barriers now. It's just all changed. But the one thing that never gets old, and it tells a story, okay, is when I bring this up, the amount of explanations that I'm getting from educated folk, from the foot soldiers, from the people in between, they're all different. They're all different explanations for why photons are a thing. They're all different explanations. So which explanation do you recommend I go for? I should do just write and copy paste all of the different explanations, right? And you tell me that these people understand the science. They don't understand the science. It's a majority thing. People have been brainwashed since young, right, to believe this stuff. Have we got time for the moon? A couple of minutes. The moon. You honestly, this is the bit that gets me. It's unbelievable there, right? The moon landings. Where did they train? Where did they train to fly in a vacuum and in only 1/6 of Earth's gravitational pull? Why did nobody at Mission Control say once, hey, Neil, what's it like flying in those conditions? There are so many reasons why this didn't happen. Leaving Michael Collins after 4 days traveling to the moon, and the two of them jump into the Eagle and leave him on his own, and he orbited the moon 30 times? You believe this stuff? That they dropped to the moon, was it 112 miles or something, and they left Collins up there and he wasn't even stressed? That it's like, it is a lack of common sense, right? Because it happened 6 times. 6 times they left a person on their own orbiting the moon while the others went down. The last 3, 14, what was it, 15, 16, 17, with moon buggies, right? You live in a fantasy world, Dan. You live in a fantasy world. Anybody who thinks that that happened lives in a fantasy world. And it doesn't surprise me that they believe anything else, including the sun and photons that take 8 minutes and 20 seconds to get here. So it's kind of a different opinion. How long have we got? How long have we got? I don't want to go over 15, 13, 24. This is the evidence. You have no evidence of the moon landings. You just think you do. There is no evidence of the moon landings. People go on about the reflectors. Where? Where are they? Have we seen them? And then people will say, no, yeah, but they fire lasers. Really? Nobody has seen this stuff, right? Everybody just presumes. This planet is under siege by liars and charlatans, and all it takes is a little bit of common sense to work all of these things out. You're stuck with your opinions because that's all they are. There is no evidence. The link, I'll check that link out about the flat earth, and listen, that wasn't my main thing. I'm just saying that I've heard enough and I'm objective enough to think about it, right? But I thought it was round all my life. I'm being honest about that. All right, I think we are coming up. We are. Right. Simon Dan, straight back at you, right? Stop picking at the little things, the silly things. Well, first you say it's absolute, and then you say that it does have a speed, but it's incomprehensible, Dan. It's incomprehensible. The moon, the sun, the sweet spot on planet Earth, it cannot work unless light is absolute. It is just purely common sense, Dan. It really is. All right, 15. Oh, perfect. Laters.